Hi, today I'm going to explain about our website which we created using our own code. And before creating our website, we used one of the website for reference. And let's go to the code here. As you can see here, link rel is equals to style sheet. This is for to link the style.css, and we give href is equal to style.css, which is our CSS code. And as you come to the body tag, you can see the h1 header to display the heading over here, as you can see in the website over here. And in the menu bar, we used our trigram from the W3 schools, and this is the code for that trigram, ##9776. you can see over here. And we also gave navigate function, and we gave our JavaScript code here. Function navigate, get element by ID, my site now, which means this is the ID which we gave on the HTML code, and here it will fetch here, and with the help of this, you can see here. This is to open the content panel, okay? And after that, we created a logo using h1 tag, and we used u tag for underlining. You can see here, this is our logo, W with underline. Next, this is the menu bar, menu options. You can see here, href is equals to index.html #contact. That means in the website, if you click on contact, it will display the contact here. And if you click on portfolio, you can see the page is directed into portfolio here. For that we gave #portfolio and #contact. And on click we gave navigate, so that the trigram is set to open. And we wrote the code in the bottom for JavaScript. You can just see here, if we click on content, here you can see the trigram is opened here. And in this content panel, you can see we added lab 1 to lab 6 here. And for this content panel, to close this content, we use close navigation function here, and for that close we used and times action, and this action is referred from the W3 schools here. And in the content we added lab 1 to lab 6 by using this, like we used href index.html #first. So these are the sub items. When you click on lab 1, you can see about repository and tutorial here. So these are the things we added here. So when you click on about, you can see about lab 1 and repository. When you click on repository, it will direct to our repository. So these are the sub items. So for every lab we added about, repository and tutorial. Here you can see for lab 2, lab 3 and lab 4 and lab 5 and lab 6. And next, for the cover page, we added ID is equals to top, and we use this flower1.png, and you can see the text, web design and development. And you can see here, web design and development. This is the cover page. And we created a button href index.html #portfolio more details. That means when you click on more details, it will direct you to this portfolio. In this content area, we used float layout and some of the hover effects in this, and we also used tiles for this. And you can see we used class is equals to hide here, and inside that we used class is equal to hide item. And for this lab 1 we created a paragraph using this p tag over here. So, and we also created a href tag, so when you click on that lab 1 you'll direct to the lab 1 page, and we used lab1.png using img tag. As you can see here, when you click on this lab 1 you can see the paragraph which you wrote, and when you click on this it is directed to the lab 1. So for every lab we created like this. Here you can see lab 6 to be continued because it is pending, so we didn't add any link over here. For contact we added h4 tag, and we used our names and email IDs over here. As you can see, contact, and we added this, and in the footer we added the reference link. For that we used anchor tag over here. Coming to CSS, we used different properties for different items, and for the content panel we used position is equals to fixed. That means you can see here, when we open the content panel you can scroll the page, but the content panel is fixed. That means the position is fixed, and we used position is equals to absolute. See here, position is equals to absolute, and that means when you scroll the page the items will also move with the scrolling. That is called position is equals to absolute. And we also use some of the properties like background color and the padding, and padding is to align the text over here. You can see web designing and development, see the space between this is all padding. And here when you scroll down you can see here style, the tiles in the content area. That means here you can see when you click on content you can see the lab 1 to lab 6. So you can see lab 1, lab 2, lab 3, these are aligned properly. You can see here for the lab 1 dot first, that means float left. Lab 1 is on the left side, so we dot float left. And you can see second lab 2 is on float right, that means it is aligned to the right side. And the lab 3 is on the left side again, and lab 4 is on the left side. As you can see, lab 3, lab 4 is on the left side, and lab 5 is also on the left side, and lab 6 is on the right side. You can see here lab 6 float right, and the text align is center, and the text is in the center. And for the images also we used some of the properties like width and height. And as you know, opacity we used here, and padding we used for the description. As you can see here, see if you click on the lab 1 you can see the description, and the background opacity you can't see the background. So for that we wrote hide hover a, and when you click on the anchor tag hide over, the opacity is 10%. And for the paragraph, when you click on paragraph the opacity is 100%. You can see here when you click on the paragraph you can see the only paragraph, and when you go back you can see opacity for lab 1. So that's all for the CSS.